Hello, guys. Alex Fedotoff here. Today we have an amazing guest, Daniel Snow. He's a founder, he's the owner of RAPTV.com, and with like 40 million followers on Instagram, one of the biggest like rap pages on Instagram. He's ecom brand owner, he's agency owner, Snow Agency, very successful agency. So very successful entrepreneur. So today I'm going to ask Daniel a lot of great questions and get a lot of great answers. So Dan, thank you so much for making the time.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me and a great intro. Also, the 40 million are as an aggregate of all our socials. On Instagram, we have close to probably 18 million right now. So that includes, TikTok, Snapchat, Twitter, all that stuff.
Wow. This is like actual business that you are like monetizing. So you own a page on Instagram that actually produces like revenue.
Yeah, for sure. Instagram, just like there's huge influence. For example, our largest page on Instagram @Rap has just hit 10 million followers. If you're an influencer with 10 million followers, you're getting paid a lot of money. The same thing is with us that owns a captivated audience. That page alone is doing close to 1 billion impressions a month. So we have a very captivated audience.
Like organically?
Organically, yeah.
Billion impressions a month?
Just on that one page, yeah. So through our network, we're doing close to over 2.5 billion impressions a month on social media. So,
wow.
When you have an audience in a desired niche, people are going to want to pay to get in front of that. Whether you're a brand or a media company or an influencer. So influencers do get paid more than a media company typically because they have typically closer relationship to their audience, but still works well with a media company.
Wow, this is crazy. So okay, let's this is kind of like point B, right? Take us to the point A, like how you started this, like how you got into like online business, like e-commerce, like all these pages, where it all started for you.
Yeah, so how it all started for me actually, so before e-commerce, I got my start when I was in college. My sophomore year of college, my friend, I was a biology major, my friend told me he was making $45 a week on a Twitter account. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. This was 2012. Like, wow, you can make money on your phone?
Which year was that?
2012. We were at the gym. I left the gym. In the parking lot, I made a Twitter account. And, I had no idea what I was doing. So to first gain followers, just mass following people. Then I learned, there is a ratio to followers to following, and you can't just follow people unlimited amounts. So then I had to get creative and did all these giveaways and whatnot to gain followers, started getting to the audience, doing cross promotions with other people with similar audience.
So that was like a personal page, like Daniel Snow?
No, it was called Fitness Shredded was my first account. It was just like a fitness, I was really big into fitness at the time. Still am, but not as like passionate. I was really passionate at that time. So that's what it was about. It was like fitness and motivational quotes and stuff. So I grew that following. It took me about a year to get to 100,000 followers, a bunch of different pages, and then in the next 12 months.
Did you monetize? Did you make any money from it, like from that following?
Yeah, by that summer, so after 8 months, I was making $100 a day. Thought I had life all figured out. Didn't have to get a summer job.
That's the first benchmark for every like online entrepreneur. $100 a day, right? Like that's kind of the first. Like...
Well, my first benchmark was $45 a week. I wanted to do that first, but anyways, so once I got to $100 a day, I was like, wow, this is I'm emulating a real job, working 8 hours a day, doing it on my phone. I'm on the beach. I'm on the golf course. I'm living life. Like this is awesome. So the next, I got more serious about it. I was reading articles online that there were some people in this Twitter community that were making $100,000 a month, $1,000 a day. This, that. So I was like, I opened up my eyes. It's like what you know type thing, and I had realigned my goals. So then that's when I started expanding into other niches. So before I was confined to fitness, which is harder to grow than viral comedy, luxury, stuff like that. So once I started doing that, my follower account blew up, started acquiring accounts, this and that. So the next year, I probably had 10 million followers, got into apps, had a few apps in the top 50 overall, got into e-commerce even, affiliate marketing.
How do you like, okay, so like, Was that like all you like, or was it like someone helping you, like kind of like understanding,
Yeah.
like?
So at first it was just me.
Uh
To
huh.
get from A to Z, A to Z, 100K to 10 million, that's when I started hiring people.
Uh huh.
Because it's like essentially the strategy was when you can think of a new account, the new idea, like let's say whatever, a page about, I'm making it up, something that might go viral about. I remember
Mm-hmm.
one was filthy rich snaps was like a big thing back then. So when I thought of a new idea, you'd quickly grow it, and then you can start trading retweets at the time with other pages. That was a big thing.
Uh huh.
And then it's a trader. Now you have a trader, trade retweets. Then you can get an ad spot. You sell it to an advertiser. You can use 2 other spots to grow your account. And then, so I started accumulating more and more and more accounts
Mm-hmm.
and started hiring people. So, my strategy went from the doing to strategy and thinking of new ways to monetize and whatnot. Then I saw at the time Google having your own content blog was a huge way to monetize. This was
Mm-hmm.
a free algorithm. On Twitter, you could send a ton of traffic to Google and get paid really, really well. The CPMs were amazing, $10 to $20. A big thing was creating essentially a content. My first thought about thinking bigger was if I can create, because a lot of at the time, a lot of these kids that had these followers were 15, 16, 17, 18 years old. They had no idea how to create a website, how to get it
Mm-hmm.
accepted on Google, how to create a business essentially. So
Mm-hmm.
I thought of the idea of trying to have all of them on my single website and create subdomains where I'd be able to track each one of their all the revenues for each publisher, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Hired the wrong developer and wasted 6 months of my time, had 100 people on the wait list and gave me an unfinished product. But I still had this idea of knowing that I want to create a platform for people to monetize because I still knew there was an opportunity.
So the platform for people, like, so your idea was that people can monetize their audiences, pretty much, or monetize or send
Yeah.
traffic.
Yeah, through sending, imagine like a BuzzFeed. It's like the same thing, but like being
Uh-huh.
able to have your own subdomain that tracks all the traffic and revenue you drive from your pages.
Mm.
That was the idea. Anyways, then I got into affiliate marketing and found that some of the ads I was running, I was making more money than ever, and wanted to bring this to all the other publishers. And that's when I, partnered up with someone who was more on the technical side, and we created Caffeine Digital. And that was the summer I was going to my senior year of college. This platform blew up my summer of my senior year of college. That summer probably did like $1 million in revenue.
Wow.
I'm not gonna be that this. By the time I graduated in May, we were doing 100,000 a month in, 100,000 a day in revenue. May of my senior year, we did $2 million. And this is with no products, just digital.
Wow.
So
Like
platform,
profitable? What were the profit margins on that business
like
model?
35% about.
Very nice.
So so eventually, I wanted to be able to start owning my own kind of offers, so to speak. And that was when I had the idea of wanting to launch my own e-com brands because, at the end of the day, the affiliate platform, there's, especially for those in affiliate marketing, offers go up and down. They're always changing things around. You have to deal with affiliates who don't understand any of this. It's just a huge pain in the ass. Honestly, the goal initially was to expand the platform into just being a true self-serve platform to connect brands to influencers and pages, which would have been really early ahead of its time. And now years later, there's still people raising money to do this that we did 8 years ago. But once again, my partner on the technical end, we didn't work out on the technical end, so wanted to move on and knew because I was really confident in driving traffic and revenue. If I could do this with my own e-com brand, it could be pretty meaningful. So that's what inspired me to start launching my own brands. Launched the first brand with a brand called Goat Case. It was a phone case that could stick to things, and it was a huge success. Day one, we were doing by our second week, we were doing like $60,000 a day in revenue.
Wow.
Had like
What was about it? Like, did you get like the product market fit? Like, did you get the product like that no one had, or the competition on Facebook?
Product market fit, content, and the relationships and know-how to rapidly scale, specifically on influencers. We were actually doing no ads at the time. It was all influencer.
Really? Wow,
Yeah.
that's crazy. Like big influencers? Like what kind of influencers?
Influence, a lot of theme pages, because this was pre-algorithm. So these
Uh-huh.
pages could drive tons of traffic in a very predictable manner, because for no algorithm, you have a very good idea of how many views they're getting. And then you could back out views to clicks and ultimately conversions. So it was really predictable. And the great thing about this was that you're also driving followers to your page and awareness, and it just became a massive campaign that snowballed really quickly. People still talk about the Goat Case campaign today. We're buying 100 shout outs a day, to give you an idea, at one point.
Wow. I still
Yeah.
see some people buying like shout outs, but probably they're not as
Not at
effective as
that
they.
scale. It's really tough to do it at that scale, because now that there's an algorithm now. It's much harder to. There's an algorithm now. Prices are a lot more expensive. It's a lot tougher today. So, anyways, I wanted to, and I knew that I could create a process out of this. I knew that I can put any type of, not any, most, a certain type of product in this process and be able to replicate our success. So we did this with other products, had a lot of success with a women's shapewear brand, men's grooming brand, toothbrush, a bunch of other random products. And we're doing 25 million a year in revenue. We were fulfilling our orders for a while. We filled over 1 million orders ourselves, which was the worst idea I've ever had. Do not do that. Anyone who thinks that's a good idea, don't do that day one. It's not worth the headache, not worth your time, not worth your energy, not worth anything. It's the biggest mistake I've ever made. Anyways, eventually we outsourced it and sold the brands, because at that point we had a lot of success, and I realized, like, what do I want to do? Do I enjoy what I'm selling? Do I enjoy what I'm doing? And selling the same type of items for 3 years, I kind of lost a lot of the passion for what we were actually selling. So decided to sell the brands, and that was the inspiration behind the agency, because I knew being able to see so many different products and brands and entrepreneurs and being able to apply our processes to them would get me excited, and I still love seeing a brand scale. It gives me energy. So that was the inspiration behind the agency. And and I always forget RAPTV. So I told you, so when we moved our platform from Twitter publishers to Instagram, I also decided to launch my own following on Instagram.
Like personal brand?
Not personal, like page. So launched a fitness and motivation page again, the first one on Twitter, first on Instagram. Then I launched I noticed that World Star was huge on Twitter and obviously on the internet, but they didn't have an Instagram page. So I launched essentially like a World Star Instagram account, and I invested a ton of money into it, gained 1 million followers in 2.5 months.
So you launched their page on Instagram?
It wasn't theirs, it was my page, but it was called Funny World Star.
Okay, very similar kind of like concept.
Yeah, like we were saying, we're not affiliated with them, but eventually they made us change the name. We did, and ultimately I realized, because now once again my focus shifted from just like quick making money grabs to wanting to create brand equity and create something with longevity. And I realized that our audience had was the exact same audience that loves rap, and no one was doing it at the time. There was rappers that were looking to advertise and grow their brand and get streams, all that. And they're going to the Funny World Stars of the world, the comedy pages, the humor pages, this that to advertise. There was no rap pages. So I thought that if I can create this audience and create a real brand, it could be something interesting. So that was the initial kind of thought process behind it.
Which year was that? So
that was
which year?
2016 now.
2016.
So, and obviously I was always super passionate about rap as well. So I was like, oh, this is something I really enjoy.
Like old school rap, which rap, or like modern?
All types. I definitely like old school rap. I was listening to Kanye West this morning on the way to work. Listening to some Chance the Rapper in the shower this morning. So I love rap, but so I was like, it's something interesting. No one's doing it. Huge opportunity. There's content going on nonstop, and if we could be the first people to do this, it could be something meaningful. Which over time, it has become.
So 2016 versus now, so what changed? Obviously, you see it maybe from a different perspective that most people, and also kind of where do you see it's going? Let's say 5 years from now, in terms of Instagram, organic reach and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think that all platforms will want to reward those who create great content. And how do
Mm-hmm.
you determine great content? Your engagement rates.
Mm.
We've always put the brand first before money. We've denied tons of huge deals because we didn't think it was a good fit for our brand. And we are always focusing on our content and our audience.
We
So
talked
that's
about this.
why,
We talked about this briefly, when we
yeah.
met. Like like NFT hype like few months ago. Like these pages, like you've been offered like crazy like payouts, right? Like for shout outs and stuff for NFT projects,
Yeah.
and you still didn't do it because like it.
Yeah, we were offered $50,000, $60,000 a post.
Jesus.
Hard to turn down. But
Yeah.
I like to always think that like one slip up can ruin everything we've been building for years. We can be that brand that people take seriously to, oh, that's just a brand that's in it for quick money. So that ultimately for me, that's the decision, is to always put the audience and community first.
Hey guys, people have been asking me how we scale to multiple 6 figures or even 7 figures per month without getting shut down on Facebook, and we have a very sophisticated solution for this that I want to share with you, but it's just like too valuable to give away for free. So if you guys want this solution, just book a call with one of my team members and we'll show you exactly what it is and how it works, and we'll see if that's a good fit for you and for your business. So just book a call with my team member. We'll share it with you so you can scale your business to multiple 6 figures or even 7 figures per month without getting shut down on Facebook, without having inconsistency, and with high profitability. So just book a call with my team and I'll see you there.
Before you started like monetizing it and before it became like a real business, you actually invested capital into actually getting it.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars into growth.
Wow. Where that, like, let's say hundreds of thousands of dollars, like where it's usually like allocated, like human resources, like people, or shout outs.
No, mostly into promotion for the page.
So you would go to like other pages, like related to rap, or just like meme
Yeah,
pages.
other pages related to rap, even rappers sometimes. Like, we would get rappers to share it organically because we would create content that for them. So it's like a rapper won some award or something like that. It'd be good content. They would want to share it on their page. So it was a win-win for us both.
And was it like, or did you have any kind of like maybe like some specific promotion or some specific like shout out from someone that just like changed like or like blew up the page, like, or it was just consistent, like just like
it's just literally consistency over years, every single day, not one day taken off for 6 years. That's what happens. You get a lot of followers. We gain 5,000 to 10,000 followers a day. That we don't gain 100,000 followers one day, zero the other. It's like consistency every single day compounds. So that's really it.
Wow, this is crazy. And then like you took the same concept and you also have some other pages. You told me the names, like the other.
Yeah, so I thought about, so right now it's like mainly rap news at rap, and I wanted to own that audience. So I thought to myself, what other interests do they have? There's the culture and fashion behind it, which is steez. There is concerts, which is obviously a huge thing. People love to see what's going on concerts all over the world. So we have that page. We have verse, which is more kind of like pop music. We expanded into reggaeton because the same opportunity I see in rap, I see the same opportunity in reggaeton right now, where it has this massive audience. There's not many people, at least media pages, that are doing a phenomenal job of owning that audience and giving news in real time and all that other stuff. So we expanded into that. We expanded into gaming because there's a huge overlap of gaming and rap and streaming and all that. So we have Controller, which now we do gaming news and whatnot. There's always tons of overlap with rappers getting into it, rappers gaming, rappers streaming, all that stuff.
So you consider this a rap company, right? Sorry, not a rap, media company.
Yeah, it's a media company.
Media company. And so like, are you planning kind of like to add like, let's say like apparel line, like stuff like that, or some other ways?
We've dabbled with merch and all that before. We haven't ever had huge success in it, which is why we just tested a bunch of different stuff. So putting that on hold for now. I'd rather focus on original content is our biggest focus right now. So, shows on Snapchat, on Facebook, on YouTube, podcasts, stuff like that, I think is the biggest opportunity for our brand right now. So that's where I want to focus. And if we're able to create a captivated audience through original content, then it's a lot easier to sell merch.
What other opportunities you see like for brands to grow?
Podcasts, the content on all the various platforms. So, interviews, stuff like that, on YouTube, on TikTok, on Snapchat, they have great content opportunity. Facebook still has great content opportunities. And hoping, if Instagram starts allowing creators to have mid-roll ads on their videos, that'll be pretty crazy for us. TikTok just announced that's in beta, so I think that's where the platforms will ultimately get to in order to compete with the creators, because ultimately they realize that it's a battle for creators, and creators will want to create content if they're getting paid more money. So yeah.
At this stage, do you have to pay for promotions, for shoutouts, for RAPTV?
No, we haven't paid for promotion in years. Now we have that viral effect, so it's like yesterday, we posted about Johnny Depp on Instagram. That one post had 1.1 million likes.
Wow.
700,000 people DM that to their friend.
Wow, this is crazy.
1,000. On Twitter, that post had 500,000 likes.
How big is the content team for RAPTV.com, for RAPTV?
We probably have like 20 people.
So they're like scouting for content on the internet,
constantly looking for new news, writing, editing, all that stuff.
Wow. And how many posts a day do you do there on that page?
On Instagram, I'm just on @rap 20 to 30, but we have a lot of Instagram pages, we have TikTok pages, we have Twitter pages, we have Snapchat shows, we have all this.
So every hour there is like a post? Every hour there is like a post?
Sometimes multiple times an hour, yeah.
Wow.
We post a lot.
Do you know any other people that have kind of like figured it out like the same way as you? Like, are you friends with those people?
I would say in the newsletter space, Morning Brew as a media company, I think they are crushing it. Most of their audience is actually on newsletters and podcasts. So like, why I think it's so interesting is because that's where their whole business is, and we're not doing any of either of those. So it's like, if we implement that, those two things, it's like that's an easy way to double, triple a company in size. So they're crushing it. The Hustle is crushing it. They're both those companies.
Hustle was acquired, right?
Yeah, and Morning Brew was acquired by Business Insider as well.
Oh wow. Morning Brew. I mean, they only have 500,000 on Instagram, right? But I think it's a business audience.
I think their newsletter has like 4 million subscribers or something.
Wow, shit.
They're charging $60, $70 CPMs.
Wow.
Crazy. Big money.
So this is like, I mean, your audience, like rap, let's say, depending on the audience, the CPMs will be different, right? Because if it's like a business audience, probably it's like more expensive, like entrepreneurs.
And that's the one upside that owning the audience on a newsletter has over an Instagram or any social media is because a post is unpredictable. We can get 10 million impressions on a post. We can get 100,000 impressions. It's all predicated on your content, and that's why it's hard to charge per CPM on social, because it's like, bad content we won't make any money on, but it's like, should we get dinged for bad content? So because the algorithm won't show it to people if it's bad content. If it's great content, should they have to pay such a premium on that because it's good content for our audience? So it's like it's a bit tough, which is why newsletter is better, because exactly how many people are going to open, how many people are going to click. Like it's a lot more predictable.
So are you planning to do like any like newsletters too?
Yeah, absolutely. So we hired an editorial team, and one of the big initiatives is newsletter, podcast, all that.
Which industry? Which niche?
For rap.
Oh, for rap.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay, so you're kind of like just expanding within the same kind of like niche, and then you'll be leveraging like this, let's say, audience on Instagram to grow your newsletter, grow your podcast, stuff like that. With the agency, right? Like, do you use like kind of like, is there like a specific like niche that you're focusing on, like specific like level of clients that they have to be in order for you to be able to help them?
Most clients are in the 1 to 10 million a year revenue range. We have some beyond that, some under that. We definitely have helped launch brands from scratch, and we're not scared to do that. In fact, I like doing that because then if the brand is willing and you can set them up for success early on, just because we've launched so many of our own brands, we have a good playbook for that. So yeah.
And do you do like the whole cycle? Like you do like email, SMS, kind of the whole backend?
Everything. Web design, we have a content studio that does photo production, video production, influencer outreach, ads, obviously. So A to Z, we can set up a brand for success.
Very cool. Do you use Advertorials?
We do, yeah. Right now, it's like hard to. It's crazy to me that some brands don't. It's like sending traffic to product pages today. If you're, a brand, it's like that's crazy.
What has been like? What have you seen working on like Advertorials like recently? Any like specific angles or like any specific structure?
Yeah, a consistent one is like top 5 reasons why people want to buy this always works, because you can leverage the real reasons, pain points, unique value propositions, motivation.
Like Javi does this, right? Javi Coffee.
Probably,
Javi?
I'm sure they do. So you just reverse engineer what your customer wants, or what the reasons why they might not want to buy it, and if you're able to address those, it just makes it for a pretty seamless buying experience. So those just consistently work. Other things are like first person testimonials, write-ups, like I bought this product, this is what you can expect to experience, works really well. Comparisons versus industry leaders, writing that works really well.
Let's say for Advertorial specifically, like is there like a specific like price point that you would be like, all right, so if your product is like less than X, then probably it doesn't make sense to do Advertorial, or like are there specific criteria where you would consider Advertorials?
I think Advertorials, well, it also depends. Honestly, Advertorials can work with any type of brand. Honestly, regardless of price point. It's just number one, it's easier to get higher click-through rates. I found on Advertorials because you can use better hooks and whatnot. If you get higher click-through rates, you're getting cheaper CPCs, and it's giving you a better opportunity to potentially convert that client in a profitable manner. So Advertorials work.
How do you learn new things? Like, so you've been able to figure out like certain like different like business models at different stages of your business, and as the industry evolves, like what's your like learning process? Like, do you go and find out okay, who's the best guy in this, like, and just like have a call with him?
Definitely, I think having a network of experienced entrepreneurs that you can bounce ideas off of. Early on, I've always done this. I've never been scared to ask questions, and that's alleviated the learning curve for me in many ways. And when people see that you're open to this and you're able to humble yourself, they're happy to share information, just like me. If it's someone that I respect, like I'm more than happy to share. So early on, I've always done this, and that's why I think I have such a great network for this reason. And just studying what competitors are doing. That's really it. Like that works.
Do you use any like sources of data, kind of like to get these like ideas? So kind of like
I don't use specific sources of. SimilarWeb is great. Other than that, if you Facebook now, it has the transparency library. You can literally see all the ads people are running.
Yeah.
All the ads, all the funnels, everything. So it's like if you know someone's having a lot of success.
Do you go and actually like buy like products to see the whole funnel, like reverse engineer? Yep.
Especially if it's product I'm interested in.
Any specific categories? So if you were like to do like e-commerce brand,
I think categories are irrelevant because the process is the same thing. If you're selling a bike or you're selling a supplement, you could both be using top 5 articles. You could both be writing my experience. You could both, on content and landing page, everything, the formats remain the same.
Knowing what you know now, like if you were to start like an e-commerce brand, or like which direction you would go, or like which what would you go, like health and wellness? Like would you do apparel? Like which category would you go into?
I would never do apparel, ever. Ever. Zero shot I'm ever doing apparel.
Because of the sizes?
Because of the sizes. Nightmare. I have experience. I did the shapewear, foam cases, fucking nightmare. That's number one. Number two, the only thing I would do if I'm launching a brand, I wouldn't even consider it if it's not, is if it has a subscription component that makes sense. Because if you can, like Chlora, the new gut health brand we launched, that's subscription only. And and if the retention is good, people actually take it every month. The brand compounds. You don't have to worry about like fighting for revenue every single day because you already have that base to start with and to eventually play with. So it's like, if you wake up and your brand already did $20,000 in revenue, now you can take some risks, you can take some chances, you can be creative. But it's like if you wake up and it's like you have to fight every single day against algorithm changes, ad accounts, this, that. It's an uphill battle every single day, and it's hard to sustain that growth over time. It's really fucking hard in today's day and age. So I'm only considering launching a brand if it has that subscription component.
So that would be like supplements, right? Like in your case.
Supplements make the most sense for that. Yeah.
Makeup.
I think makeup's tough to put in subscription. Honestly, it's like I'm not a girl, but it's like, does a girl go through a lip gloss every month? I have no idea. I don't think so. I've seen some people do it, and people crush it in like the fragrance space. Shaving. Obviously Dollar Shave Club, Billy's, all that stuff. So there's stuff outside of supplements, but supplements make the most sense.
In terms of building your team, right? Like, and so, you said like you putting together like new editorial team for a newsletter. How do you think about like, do you usually find like the top guy? Okay, so you find like someone who can build that team and they build it for you, or like do you proactively go and search like for every single person?
I'll hire the department head to build their team. Everything can't go through me. It's not possible. Early on, I made that mistake, and you can't grow a real business that way. You're confined to you and your time and making yourself a slave, and that's not the type of business or lifestyle that I want. So empowering department heads around me to own, essentially run their own business within the organization, ultimately is what allows me today to have multiple businesses. So yeah.
For the supplement brand, so let's say you're launching supplement brand, like are there any like specific people that you need to bring from the outside to help you launch that, or like you are able to launch that with your like internal resources with your team that runs the agency?
So it's not so we're essentially a client of the agency, and I have the director of the brand who runs all the logistics, operations, et cetera, et cetera. We have a CEO that's the face of the brand. He worked on all the formulation. He's a doctor, in charge of a lot of the content and science behind everything. So, and then I come in with higher level strategy.
So you are originally from New Jersey.
I am.
Yeah. Now you live in Miami.
That's correct.
Cool. So what attracted you to Miami?
For me, number one, I took COVID as an opportunity to escape New Jersey. I always wanted to get out of New Jersey, but I always had offices I had to run. So, number one, the tech movement was super interesting to Miami. Number two, obviously taxes. New Jersey, 12% state tax now. It's crazy.
Wow.
So I was definitely only looking for states that had zero tax. So Miami made a lot of sense, and ultimately it's really just those and the weather. So that was it. Came down to Miami first day, middle of winter, used to getting dark out at 4 p.m. being miserable. I'm like, this is amazing. I don't have to wear a coat. I can go outside. I can run. I can see blue, amazing blue water. It's like, I'm happy. So
how do you structure your life like with business? So you're growing the business, like do you work like 20 hours a day, like, or you just trying to find that balance where like you properly like recovering, having like some personal time to readjust? Like how do you structure and having that work-life balance?
I'm in front of the computer sitting down usually 9 to 6. Beyond those hours, if I need to take phone calls, I need to do something, I'll do it. But like those are my hours in front of the computer.
And the rest of the time you're trying to recharge, you go to like clubs, or like what do you do kind of like to
Definitely big into fitness, health and fitness. You know, I'm a
uh-huh.
huge believer that if you're not taking
I've
care
seen
of
you're like swimming, like it's a triathlon or something, Ironman.
Yeah, I did a few triathlons last year. During COVID, I got fat, then I got skinny, then I got fat, then I lost 45 pounds, and now I'm just trying to maintain that. But yeah, I'm big into fitness, health and fitness. I'm a huge believer that, especially if you're working at a high level, if you're not taking care of your body, your mind is hurt as a result. So I've been in stages where I get stressed out, I stress eat, all that stuff, and it takes a toll on my brain. You know, my mental fatigue is very, my brain gets fatigued quickly, out of shape, feel like shit, low confidence. So the only way to alleviate that is through health and fitness. So I try to take good care of my body. I try to work out, try to eat right. Definitely I still have fun, but it's all about moderation. So that's definitely a big part of my life. Definitely the triathlons I did were great goals to have. I like working towards goals, and that allowed me to stay motivated, have fun, work towards something like that makes me happy and fulfilled, pushing myself. Outside of that, just Miami, there's always stuff going on. Love being on the water, love hanging with friends, being on the beach, experiencing new places. Not a big club guy, but I'll go to clubs if I'm down for that. If that's where the night takes me. So yeah.
Cool. So, one of the things, so we're having our conversation, and I'm like, there's not many entrepreneurs that can like dedicate. Let's say it was at like even the rap page, like very simple example. It's like a lot of entrepreneurs, from my observation, just like have very like unrealistic expectations about their business, or like what the business will produce, or how fast it will grow. So. Do you see the same like from your side? Do you see that kind of like entrepreneurs feel like they have like those like unrealistic expectations, they want like instant gratification stuff?
Yeah, I mean, for sure, it's part of human nature, especially when you're in Miami, especially when especially when you haven't had success, because it's like shiny object everywhere. Like they want to live that lifestyle, they want the girls, they need that clout. So you see people bounce around nonstop, always after that next shiny object. And it's like, to me, dizzying, and to me, it's a sign that they haven't had success. But for younger people, it's hard for them.
They haven't had success.
Yeah, if you're always bouncing around, whether you're an employee or an entrepreneur, founder, whatever, it's like you're constantly bouncing around. Like you can't have success at something. Unless you have, it's hard to do that. It really is. At least that's my belief. Unless you already have a great foundation and you have a team that allows you to take those risks. But if you personally are the one putting your time into 10 things, like it's hard to get deep into one.
Are you at this stage, like, could you disattach yourself from the business, or like you still have to be involved kind of to make sure like it gets like even more momentum?
The agency right now needs my time. We've had certain periods where it didn't need enough of it, but right now it needs my time. RAPTV, I think, can function without me, but I think that with me, I think I'm very good at strategy. I'm very good at directing the company. I think I have a good idea of where the company needs to go.
So what advice would you give to like entrepreneurs? Let's say that how old are you?
Just turned 29.
Jeez, man. So you're very like accomplished, for your age. Like you started early. So what advice would you give to like 22-year-old you? Or like, someone like in that similar position, maybe like in a college or kind of just starting the entrepreneurial journey, like what would be your main like advice to those people?
My main advice would be to try to get a job for someone that you really respect, really admire, and think can add a lot of value to you. I think learning from someone is in many aspects a lot better experience than just figuring it out on your own.
And you're getting paid for it too. Not as much, but you're getting paid.
Yeah, and you're getting paid for it, and you're creating a relationship with someone you respect. So that's what I would advise to do, especially if you're still in college. Like even working for free, like the experience you're gaining is worth a lot more than the pennies you're making in the grand scheme of things. And ultimately, if you're doing a good job, they're going to want to pay you. You know, some of the members of even RAPTV, I have someone now, started working for me. He was like 16, 17 years old.
Wow.
For free, just wanted to work, and now he's a creative director at our company, and he's only 19 still, but like
Really crazy.
He's great, phenomenal. Can work autonomously, creative thinker, has a great skill set.
How did he find you?
So because it's cool, the RAPTV part is cool because we have such a big audience. You know, there's so many people that look up to us. People create fan pages, this, that, and they DM us and want to create content for us, and he was one of those people. Yeah, and that's why, you know, it's not, so we have an audience, but that's why it's also important to create that personal brand, because you can get that same effect as a brand does. You know, you get people that want to work for you by creating that personal audience. You get really talented people. So that's, you know, one effect of, even if you're not a media brand, just growing your personal brand, you get a lot of inbound from passionate people. So
very, very good advice. Yeah, definitely. Like growing your personal brand. I think yeah, like having the patience to actually put into some projects if you see like long-term outcome in those, so that like, I mean, you told me that like even right now with all of the changes in the algorithm, because of the foundations that you set up, like with your pages, like really good content, like you are able to withstand any of these like algorithm changes just because the foundation is so strong.
Foundation and also adaptability. You know, we're constantly keeping a very close ear to the floor, so to speak, and knowing when these changes happen and trying to create strategies to proactively take advantage of these different algorithm changes, or at least making sure we're doing best practices. So definitely just being adaptable, I think, for any business, not just RAPTV, agency, media, anyone working online, because everything changes so fast. If you're not quick to adapt, you can't survive in this industry. It doesn't matter what you're doing. Online, it's like, you know, especially if it's social media related, I think it's the number one most important skill set.
Did you get distracted like with all of the crypto and NFT hype?
I didn't at all, actually, because I got distracted in 2016, 17, and
You already got it. That was your second time already.
it was my second time. So at that point,
Did you make a lot of money from that first wave?
I was up a lot of money, then I was down a lot of money. I held it. I sold it in like 2020 for pretty minimal relative gains to my portfolio. Could have made millions from it, but sold too early. But, you know, didn't have that distraction. Who knows? Maybe I would have made a lot more millions. Maybe I would have lost more. I don't know what I would have done. But yeah.
Like, was it like a good experience? Do you think like every entrepreneur must go through that experience, kind of getting distracted just to realize that it's not worth it?
Maybe. You know, you could say the same thing in relationships as well. Like, you know, whether you're a girl or a guy, right? It's like they say the same thing. So as an entrepreneur, I don't see things much differently. I think making mistakes and failing on your face gives you those hard lessons to learn that give you discipline.
Do you like when you have like hard moments, like do you have some people that you reach out to?
Oh yeah, for sure. I have tons of people that can relate. You know, they reach out to me, I reach out to them. We have that sort of relationship where we're able to share really intimate information. And I'm also part of organizations like YPO that have the same structure. You can they have an open setting where you discuss what's going on in your life, family, business, etc. Completely open discussion with a group of other really successful entrepreneurs, which is also great to hash and think through any major problems in your life, even outside of business.
You've done some amazing things, you know. I mean, at your age, like, I mean, so much experience already in different industries, trying different things. So looking forward to seeing your next breakthroughs. And, you know, let's have these calls like every few months, you know, see what changes. Because you're in the front lines, like with Instagram, with like algorithms, like what's working, what doesn't, and very, very interesting insights.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. Hopefully brought some value to your audience.
For sure. And we'll drop, like Daniel. So if you want to connect with him, maybe you want to join his team, maybe just want to connect. He's here in Miami. You're in Miami Beach, right?
Yeah, office is in Midtown.
Cool. So yeah, if you want to connect with Daniel, we'll drop his handles. And yeah, thank you so much for joining me.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me.